He sat beside him for 3 years, he studied the same data, he watched the same corners from the other side of the garage. And now, for the first time, George Russell has said what Ferrari might be too afraid to admit. Lewis Hamilton's driving mindset, the one that built 7 world titles, may now be counterproductive. In a quiet pre-race interview in Canada, Russell didn't attack, he didn't criticize, he decoded. When you're a 7-time world champion, anything less than victory is failure, he said. And that can push you and your team beyond the potential. That's not a compliment, that's a warning. Because Russell isn't talking about raw speed, he's talking about Hamilton's psychology. The win-or-nothing mentality that refuses compromise. That mentality, in Mercedes, created magic. But in Ferrari, a team built on structure, not chaos, it might be tearing something apart. What if the man who once elevated every machine he touched is now overdriving the limits of what's possible? What if greatness, when misaligned with reality, becomes a weapon turned inward? Russell's words weren't just commentary, they were diagnosis. Because inside Ferrari, Hamilton's mindset isn't just intense, it's relentless. Paddock insiders say Hamilton is pushing setups to the edge every weekend, demanding aggressive front-end grip, risking rear instability. Not out of desperation, but out of expectation. Because for Lewis, there's no such thing as acceptable P4. Every lap is a statement, every tweak is a chase for an impossible ideal. And that's where the danger begins. Ferrari, a team known for sensitivity, tradition, and incremental control, now finds itself trying to contain a force that only thinks in extremes. Hamilton isn't driving the car they gave him, he's driving the car he wants it to be, and the engineers are being dragged along. Setup windows are narrowing, brake demands are increasing. The car is evolving to chase a ghost Hamilton insists still exists, the dominant beast that once wore silver. But this isn't Mercedes, and in trying to mold Ferrari into that past, is Hamilton pushing it into the future, or breaking it apart in the process? While Hamilton drives with fire, Leclerc plays the long game. He adapts, he negotiates with the car, he preserves tires, protects the floor, waits for the race to come to him. That contrast, it's not tactical, it's philosophical. Inside the Ferrari garage, engineers are being pulled between two worlds. One is Leclerc's, calculated, consistent, aligned with what the SF25 was designed to do. The other is Hamilton's, a storm of energy, pushing every input to its breaking point, and sometimes beyond. And lately, that storm is leaving debris. In Canada, Leclerc scored no points, but in the debrief, the atmosphere was telling. Engineers whisper about a car they no longer fully recognize, balance shifting, brake feedback changing, aspects of Hamilton's extreme driving beginning to affect both sides of the garage. Ferrari isn't just managing 2 drivers, they're managing 2 realities, one chasing evolution, the other fighting to keep the foundation stable. And in that split lies a question no one wants to ask out loud. Is this still Charles's team, or is it already being reprogrammed by someone else? Hamilton doesn't talk about failure, not publicly, but the telemetry does. In China, he won the sprint. In Montreal, he outqualified Leclerc. On paper, signs of progress, but dig deeper into the long-run data, and something else appears: overcorrection, excess rear tire wear, brake temps oscillating beyond the predicted margins, the signs of a driver pushing a car beyond its optimal window, chasing a level the machine isn't ready to deliver. And yet Hamilton keeps pushing, not for show, not for pride, for something deeper: legacy. After 3 seasons without a win, after media whispers of decline, Hamilton didn't join Ferrari to be patient. He came to rewrite the ending. But that urgency carries a cost. Engineers report late-night setup changes, riskier energy recovery modes, a reluctance to settle, even when the data says back off. And in a team already battling its own demons, that mindset becomes both weapon and liability. Because when the man in red believes every race is the tipping point, the entire garage starts holding its breath. George Russell didn't need to guess, he lived it. 3 seasons alongside Hamilton at Mercedes taught him the rhythm, the build-up, the demand, the intensity, and more importantly, the burnout. He watched engineers recalibrate every weekend, sim teams stay overnight chasing tenths Hamilton felt, not predicted. And when it worked, it was spectacular. Brazil 2021, Silverstone 2023, moments of sheer brilliance, but when it didn't, it left chaos behind. So when Russell now says Hamilton might be pushing beyond the potential, it's not criticism, it's pattern recognition. He knows the cost of chasing Hamilton's level without the car to match. He saw it at Mercedes, now he's watching it repeat at Ferrari. And there's irony here. Russell, once criticized for being too pragmatic, is the one issuing the warning that sometimes greatness unchecked can become its own trap, because when the bar is always set at perfection, you don't just risk breaking the car, you risk breaking the people around it. When asked about Hamilton's struggles, Fernando Alonso didn't flinch. "What's wrong with him?" "I have no idea," he said with a smirk. But listen closer, and you hear more than mockery. You hear detachment, a kind of calculated indifference only a rival-turned-expert observer can offer. Alonso doesn't see a technical flaw. He sees a psychological spiral. He's struggling now, but he can turn things around quickly, Fernando admitted. It wasn't praise, it was a reminder that this isn't new. In 2007, Alonso saw it firsthand. When Hamilton's fire burns, it consumes everything, including structure, including allies. And now, at Ferrari, that same fire is beginning to burn at both ends. Even Alonso, never shy about criticizing the Scuderia, deflected. "It's difficult to give an opinion without all the information," he said. But his message was clear. It's not the car, it's not the team, it's the expectations and the man behind them. And the question no one in red dares to ask: how long until Ferrari starts breaking under them? At Ferrari, emotion runs deep. It's not just a team, it's a legacy dressed in red. And now, that legacy feels tense. Mechanics speak in shorter sentences. Engineers revisit data multiple times. The energy isn't toxic, it's tight, like everyone's waiting for something to snap. Why? Because Hamilton doesn't wait. He questions, he demands, he pushes, not just the car, but the team's philosophy. And while Leclerc offers calm, an anchor, Hamilton brings gravity, a pull so strong it warps how people think, react, commit. Insiders say the mood has shifted. It's no longer about development plans, it's about survival of momentum. Leclerc's side wants stability, Hamilton's side wants revolution. And in the middle, a garage being stretched between two futures, one rooted in patience, the other fueled by urgency. Ferrari isn't broken yet. But when a team breathes in two rhythms, eventually, someone forgets to exhale. Russell didn't criticize Lewis Hamilton, he revealed a truth few dare to say out loud, that sometimes the hunger for victory becomes a hunger that devours. Hamilton's driving isn't in decline, it's in overdrive. Every lap a message, every loss a spark for reinvention. But Ferrari is not Mercedes, and this isn't 2020, it's 2025, a season caught between evolution and implosion. The engineers feel it, Leclerc feels it, even Alonso senses it from afar. What happens when the man who once lifted every team begins to pull it faster than it can grow? That's the danger Russell saw first. Hamilton's greatness is undeniable, his intensity unmatched, but his presence is a storm, and a storm, even when beautiful, leaves nothing untouched. Now, with 2026 looming, Ferrari must decide, do they follow the fire, or do they build walls to contain it? If you believe Formula One's truth isn't just about pace but about power, pressure, and the price of legacy, subscribe. We don't just watch F1, we decode what they won't say. And now we turn it to you. Is Hamilton's intensity what Ferrari needs to break the curse, or is it the very thing that will tear this team apart? Was Russell right to speak up, or is this just fear speaking from a driver who couldn't handle the same pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us, is this the rise of a new Ferrari or the start of its next collapse? Your voice matters here because this channel doesn't follow the headlines, it follows the truth behind them. Like, subscribe, and remember, they broadcast the surface, we expose the soul. See you at the next revelation.